Hi everyone, so excited to have you on the webinar. I'm going to let you get settled. I've got my coffee here, a little bit of coffee, not that I need the extra energy. I never know where to look on these, but I think I'm looking at you now. So yeah, I've got my coffee. I even have my mountain biking bottle here for water, and I am ready to go. So I have typed a little message up here for you in the right-hand corner of your screen, just to have you introduce yourself, let us know your name and where you're from so that we can connect. Also, through the call, let me know your questions, because if you really feel like, oh, Amy, that is a point that I struggle with or that I'd like to hear more about, I'd be glad to fit in some extra things where I can. So my name is Amy Engelmark, and my webinar here is called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. It's a weekly webinar that runs every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Typically, we finish up within the hour, sometimes a little bit less. And you can reach me at my website. It's www.amyengelmark.com. I'm just going to make sure that everybody can enter the room and see the chat. And yeah, it looks like we have some people joining us now. So that's great. Welcome. Like I said, just put your name there and where you're from so we can connect. That would be wonderful. Today we are going to cover a lot. So I'm going to give you as much as I can in the time that we have together. I've got some awesome, bear with me while I just get organized here. I've got some awesome freebies for those of you who are on live. So make sure to join in the conversation, because you could be receiving one of these in the mail. I have two books here. They're both some fancy journals that I picked up for you. And I'm gonna suggest that you make a little bit of time to write about what's going on in your life and what you're processing, what you want to be dwelling on, what thoughts you want to be dwelling on, because what I've found in my business and with the clients that I work with is journaling is an important thing, even if you're just taking 1 to 2 minutes to journal. It's going to change things in your life when you put your thoughts and your emotions on paper. Let's hop in. I'm going to tell you a little bit. I'll tell you. I'm going to back up one sec. For these journals, if you want to win one and you're on live, then I'm going to be asking a question sometimes throughout the call, sometimes at the end of the call. So stick around to the end of the call for that. Okay? So a little bit about me. I have an up-and-coming book. I'm the author of the upcoming book called From Burnt Out to Bliss. And it's a 30-day challenge for really high-achieving people who want to decrease their stress, have more freedom, and more fun. So I am really excited to give all of you, whether you're on live or whether you are watching the replay of this, my 2 chapters for that in that book. So I'll give you the e-version of those chapters, and hopefully you can apply some gold nuggets from my writing to your life. I've hosted workshops and run group coaching programs with clients from all over North America. So exciting to connect with women who are on fire and ready for change, ready for breakthrough. And those have been focused on everything from helping people with their time management and improving people's ability to deal with stress in a healthy way and let go of fear and guilt and selfish feelings. because that can really hold you back. I've also implemented the systems that I'm going to share with you about really knowing your worth and learning how to let go of your need for approval. That's my topic today, and I'm going to be showing you how I've implemented those systems in my own life. So our topic today, know your worth. It's a step-by-step plan for approval junkies. Fun title and very personal stuff that I'm going to share with you today. I was nervous and very excited this morning just thinking about what I was going to be sharing with you, because it's such a personal story, and I really have never shared it live to the extent that you get to hear today. So I'm excited for you. Hopefully I don't get too emotional, but hey, that wouldn't be the worst case scenario, and I'm sure it would be helpful for you. So my clients' biggest needs, what I cover on these webinars, are being able to really love yourself no matter what's going on in your life, being able to be a humongous success and be super productive even when you are dealing with stress super well, and at the same time as having such an awesome life balance and awesome health on all levels, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I help you have this life balance that people crave. And the big payoffs are, they notice, my clients notice, and what we cover on these webinars is their communication skills improve with their colleagues and their employees and their husbands and wives and children, their parenting, ability to have the energy to have fun and play and spend time with the people that you love and want to get to know more, actually have a social life. All of that becomes possible when you know how to deal with your stress well and you know how to balance your time. So those are some big things I teach on these webinars. Okay, so a little bit about my story to do with these webinars. When I was in my early 20s, 19 actually, I met my husband, and we've been together for almost 15 years. What was fabulous is I had very little responsibilities back then, and I didn't have to balance much. My stress load was very low, and so I governed how I spent my time and had a lot of fun outdoors. And then we got married, and I started to really learn how to need to learn how to communicate. When I was feeling really stressed, I needed to learn how to love unconditionally and all of these things that come with marriage that can cause stress. And then we throw in two beautiful boys that came when I was 25 and 27. And that added to the stress. And then I thought it would be a great idea to start my own coaching business. And interestingly enough, I started feeling very overwhelmed and quite lost as a person. I really felt like at that point in my life, I lost my identity. Some of you can really liken with that and empathize with that. And I felt like I hit a real low in my life, and it felt horrible. It was quite an emotional time in my life because I was just trying to deal with everything, trying to juggle everything, and I felt like I just couldn't do it very well. So I started my coaching training and realized that, oh my goodness, as I was delving into all of these self-improvement books and learning how to deal with stress and overcome fear and communicate and be in relationship with people and feel confident and successful at the same time, I could apply all of these things to my life, which is what I started doing. And then I started teaching other people how they could do the same thing. And they started to get similar results to me. So I was starting to feel happier, balanced, healthy, like I had time for myself. But nothing had changed as far as what I was responsible for. I still had a lot of stuff I was responsible for, a lot of responsibilities I had to balance. but I managed to create this amazing life balance. And so I'm really happy to say that my clients are also getting the benefit of all of my training, all of my personal life experiences in how I coach them privately and in groups. So that's a bit about my story. Okay, so we're going to get into the real nitty-gritty here of the training so that I can tell you my story. You can glean from it what you need for your life right now and see how I may have dealt with things differently or the same way that you're dealing with them now if you're going through any kind of challenges regarding your own self-worth and looking to others for approval instead of being able to find that beautiful confidence within yourself. So let me know, just to make sure that you can hear me, because I see that you are on the call. So just let me know if you can see and hear me well, okay? Just so I have a heads up. And I'll type in here again so you see where you can type your message. Okay. Let's get into the nitty-gritty and the meat and potatoes. My story. So when I was younger, my mom and dad split up when I was about 9 or 10. And that was really difficult for all of our family. And little did I know at the time, but I think a little seed of fear was planted in my heart because it felt a little bit like abandonment when my dad left. And he didn't abandon me, but that's what sometimes happens when families separate. And he was always a kind and loving dad, always showed me a lot of care and gentleness. But I started believing this lie that there must be something about me that was not desirable enough to have him stay in our family. Maybe I was the reason that he left. I don't know. I never thought about it thoroughly back then, but as I became an adult, I realized, oh, I have some abandonment issues that I need to work through for myself so that I'm not looking for love or approval from men, and so that I get that feeling of being valuable and lovable just the way that I am, right to the very core of my being. So years passed, and I was about 15 or 16, and I started dating a wonderful guy, and I fell very quickly head over heels with this guy. And he was a great man, a young man back then, and it was the first time I'd really fallen in love, and I gave my whole heart to this guy. The relationship didn't last long. We decided that it wasn't going to work between the two of us. But I noticed right after the relationship ended, within maybe 6 months, that I felt used. I felt like, okay, I'd gotten intimate with this guy and given my whole heart and all of my love away, and felt like maybe if I trusted people, trusted men, they were just going to use me for my body. So this is where it gets deep and intimate, and then leave me. And as you can imagine, that is a horrible thing to believe or feel. It feels so shallow, and it made me feel like I wasn't being valued for who I am inside, which is a beautiful person, just as all of you have such value inside. So it really hurt. And I didn't really realize, I think subconsciously, I started this belief that was planted when my dad left, and then again when this boyfriend left, that the belief grew. It grew roots and started to become stronger. And I started to believe that I shouldn't let myself shine quite so brightly as I wanted to shine. I shouldn't let myself be free and express the joy and happiness that was inside me. I shouldn't really do that because I might attract negative attention from men, and then it would be my fault for that if anything negative happened out of that. Crock of crap. Total lie. So I did believe it though. And I also believed that maybe I don't remember if I've said this, but maybe my value was only skin deep. Maybe I was only desirable for my outward looks instead of all of who I am, which is inside. And that was really disappointing, felt really shallow. I felt really hurt and really painful. And it really held me back from being able to have the self-expression that I wanted. It started holding me back even in my marriage when I met my husband later, around 19 or 20. I'm so thankful I met him when I was young. But it affected our marriage negatively because even though I knew he loved me for everything, all of who I was, I felt like there was still some part of him that was going to use me and not care for all of me, that somehow not all of me was valuable to him. So when I got married to him, that really, I felt like, woo, God was shining a light on that area of my life. It was very evident between us that I wasn't able to be my full self in the relationship in a lot of areas. I wasn't allowing myself to have full expression and freedom and, you know, just that fluidity that comes with feeling free and confident to be yourself, because these beliefs were seriously holding me back. So I decided to do something about it, and I talked with him about my feelings, which was quite difficult, but I knew I could fully trust him. And I may have talked with a few close girlfriends as well. So talk with the people that you can trust. So key. I also really dove deeply into my relationship with God. I believe in Jesus, and I have a close relationship with him. And those two things, primarily my relationship with God and my relationship with my husband, have been my saving grace. And it took me, I'd say, not that it's going to take you this long, but it took me years actually to heal from those old beliefs and the impact they'd had on my life to become who I am today and be able to have the freedom to shine brightly and not feel like it's going to attract anything negative, not feel like I am only valuable from, you know, from here out, that I'm super valuable inside, that I'm always loved. So I started really searching out for the truth of how God viewed me. And my husband spoke the truth into my life repeatedly, consistently, thank goodness. And I started solidifying and seeding new beliefs of truth into my life. Got a frog in my throat, just one sec. So those were big keys for me to overcoming and feeling like I'm a rock star now in that area. I want to share with you some steps that you can apply to your life that one of my clients also has applied to her life. There are many clients who have dealt with these similar issues of self-worth. But I want to share with you one testimonial. She is a physician friend of mine who I've coached for a while now, and she used to live her life to please other people. I don't think she was necessarily caught up in needing to get the approval of men or attention of men in order to get her needs of feeling valuable met. But her story is similar to mine in that she was definitely looking for approval. She made all of her decisions from a place of, well, will this make other people happy? Because if it does, then that means that I'm doing the right thing and they're going to like me. I'm going to get approval. I'll feel good about myself. And then my personal needs for feeling valuable inside will feel good for the time being until maybe somebody's opinion of me changes or I make the wrong decision. So after working with her, she has noticed big shifts, and she's getting her personal value needs, her self-worth needs met in spiritual places. She's getting those needs met from within and reminding herself of the truth about herself instead of feeling like she always needs to please, feeling like she always needs to seek the approval of other people in order to feel lovable or successful or valuable, you know? So she's experienced a big turnaround in her life. I've been working with her privately for almost a year now, and the changes I see in her make me so happy every time we meet. Here are the steps that I have created for you so you can put this plan into place for your life so you're not so addicted to looking outwardly to people or things to make you feel happy and content in your heart, in your mind, and your spirit. So get out your pens and paper because this you are going to want to write down. 1, pay attention to the pain you're feeling. It's so easy to not pay attention to the pain you're feeling because it's uncomfortable to pay attention to the pain. But when you pay attention to the pain, then you can get over the pain and you can get through the pain and you can use the pain instead of being stuck in the pain. So pay attention to whatever pain, whether it's just a numbing kind of pain you might be feeling and have maybe been feeling for a long time regarding who you are and your own worth. Maybe it's a gnawing pain, a really uncomfortable pain. But whatever it is, pay attention to the pain because it's telling you something. Some people won't even give pain the time of day because they don't want to experience the discomfort. But believe me, you're lying to yourself. I lied to myself for a long time, that it was better to stay in that type of pain than to actually face the fear of what would it be like to actually face this pain head on and deal with it. And it's actually way better on the other side. There's way less pain on the other side when you can use that pain that you're feeling right now. Step number 2 in the plan is to determine what you may have been believing that have kept you feeling the way you feel about yourself on a regular basis. You know, our beliefs are so powerful, right? They impact how we feel. And if I was believing that I was only desirable for what people could see on the outside, then that would impact the decisions that I made and the actions that I took back then. Now that I believe that I am 100% worthy of love, that people will love me for all of who I am, that I'm loved no matter what, that I won't be abandoned, that God will stick by my side no matter what, I can run through life with a joyous confidence that only comes from having healthy beliefs that empower me. So what belief might you be believing right now that's impacting how you feel today? I want you to write that down, and if it doesn't come to you right away, think of what you would need to believe to feel the way you're believing. Take some time to work on that question later. It'll be worth your time. It might help you to determine what you'd need to believe to change how you feel, and that might uncover your underlying belief. Number 3 is, what price are you paying? What price are you paying to stay in the place that you're in right now? What price are you paying? I paid a lot in regards to, like I said, not living life with the freedom that I wanted to have. I paid a big price because it impacted my relationship with God and how close I could feel to Him, how close I would let Him. And I think part of that to do with that was trusting God and trusting other people. My ability to trust was impacted. It's so fun to share my story with you. It's such a personal story. My ability to trust was so impacted, and therefore my relationships with God and people were limited. So how is it holding you back, these beliefs? Because my hunch is it's holding you back in a lot of areas. If you take the time to think about how it's been limiting you and for how long. These are good things to become aware of so that you're motivated. When you are aware of these things, it can really make you angry in a really good way to help you motivate yourself to change and do something about it. Okay, step number 4 is, what are the benefits? And you think, well, we just talked about what's the price of staying stuck in these feelings and beliefs. Now I'm asking you, step 4, what are the benefits of staying stuck? Sometimes there's a lot of benefits that actually keep people from feeling stuck, keep people from taking new action. And some of the most common ones are, you don't have to leave your comfort zone. I think I'm looking at the right spot. You don't have to face any kind of fear of the unknown or worst case scenarios, or maybe even fear of success. You don't have to face those fears if you don't take any new actions. And you also, maybe you're getting attention from other people by staying stuck in these negative habits and believing these lies about yourself and what's possible for you in your life. So if you're getting attention, then sometimes it's a big benefit, big bonus, to get the attention of other people. And maybe you fear that you wouldn't have that attention or that connection or love if you actually did life differently. So what benefits are you receiving from staying stuck in this place right now in life? Number 5, build your sense of self-acceptance. So this is what I did. That was part of my story, right? I really needed to work on my sense of self-love and what I believed about myself in order for me to feel accepted, acceptable, accepted, beautiful, loved, worthy of love, valuable. So you could journal. You could delve more deeply into a spiritual relationship with God. You could surround yourself with people who will speak life into you instead of continuing down the path where you are believing the lies. There's a few different ways where you can really build your self-acceptance. Let's hop into the next step in the plan, which is, there's 2 more steps. Number 6 is to let go of your need for validation. So for a long time, I just realized this morning, I would always ask others what they thought about my decisions. And it's interesting that I just had this epiphany this morning, but it's definitely because of what you and I are sharing on this webinar and the topic for this webinar. That's why it came up. So I would catch myself all the time holding back from making decisions because I wanted somebody else to say it was a good decision. So that's probably me seeking approval from other people. So let go of your need for validation. What could you be doing? You could be checking the words that are coming out of your mouth. if I had been more conscientious of what I was speaking, questions I was asking of others, I may have been more aware back then of what was going on and what I could do about it to change things, so that I didn't have to look outward. I could trust my decisions. And that leads us into the last step in this plan for helping you overcome your need for validation, move past your need for approval, and value yourself, your beautiful, beautiful self. The last step, number 7, is to learn to trust your decision-making capabilities. I have a client who, another physician actually, and something that she said to me in a testimonial that she sent. By the way, you can see these testimonials on my website if you want to read all of them. It's amyengelmark.com, and you'll see that one of my tabs is testimonials, so you can go and see all of these testimonials. But this woman in particular, she was having such a hard time with her mental thought habits and her negative self-talk, that it was limiting her ability to do anything that she loved doing aside from work and have the energy that she wanted to have for her husband and her kids. So she was feeling really frustrated because she was trying to balance her practice and she was trying to balance her home life. And at the time, she had no personal time. And if she did, she would just sit down and either read, I think, or watch TV and have a snack on things that she didn't even want to be eating. So she was kind of self-sabotaging, and she was caught up in her mind as far as, you know, this is what I need to do instead of this is what I want to do. So this last step in the plan for helping you overcome your need for approval is decide, are you making decisions to make other people happy, or are you making decisions to make yourself happy for what's best for your life? Because you're worth it. And when you know that you are worth it, you are valuable, you'll start making decisions from a place of, okay, am I looking for approval again here? Is that why I'm saying yes, or is that why I'm saying no? Or I'm actually making this decision because it's right for me. It's right for my family. It's right because those are my priorities. So this is gonna be my answer because this is what's motivating me. So my client started really changing how she was making decisions. She really cleaned up her act with the systems that I taught her to really transform her beliefs and create new beliefs. And she now makes consistent time for yoga. She takes more time off, and she plans it so that she makes sure that it can happen. And that hasn't negatively affected her productivity. It's actually increased her productivity, and mega benefits have been happening in her family life because of the decisions that she's been making to honor herself above her need to please anyone else. So I'm wondering how much time you are willing to spend stuck or feeling like you're spinning your wheels in this area. Because if you're willing to stay there, your life won't change. Those are kind of the hard facts. But your life won't change until you decide to make a change. And there's a really big cost to not making a change. You can, the personal fulfillment and the like a purposeful living just isn't there when you're not living life in line with what's important to you, when you're not doing something about the pain in your life. It costs you in relationships. It can make it so that you feel disconnected with people and isolated from other people just because you're not taking action on the most important areas of your life. It could be costing you because it could be causing you anxiety and stressing you out because you're not living in congruency with your priorities. You're not honoring yourself, and therefore it causes digestive issues, fogginess, poor health, weight gain, all of these things. So what's it costing you mentally, emotionally? What's it costing you in your spiritual life? I don't know, but you know. So you have a choice. You have a choice if you want to do something about it today. If you want to keep trying to figure it out on your own, or if you want to have my support and accountability and mentorship, because that's what I'm offering you. You know, when people have support and accountability and mentorship, they fast forward their lives. The clients that I work with who are ready to make a move, you should see the difference between what was happening in their lives before and then what's possible when you're working with somebody like a coach. So in the next 30 days, what would be possible? 30 to 60 days from now, would you like to achieve life balance and ability to honor you, honor your priorities and your own worth? What would be possible if you achieved that balance? If you made decisions to please yourself and to honor your own priorities, what would be possible in the next 30 to 60 days? A lot would be possible. A lot of things would start shifting in your life when you make small changes. It's exciting to think about what you can create when you work with me. It's exciting. So I want to invite you to apply for my program. If you have resonated with what I've shared today, if you've watched some of my other webinars or you've been following me and you're like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm serious about making a change. I'm committed to myself and I'm not going to wait any longer. I know I'm being held back. I know what I want. And I know that that support and accountability and that mentorship is what I need and what's going to help me fast forward my progress and see new results. I don't know if you're excited, but I just talk about that and I'm excited because I love to help you get breakthroughs. So you can apply and get more information about my program. It's called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life at amyengelmark.com/about. So that's the web page that the information's on. At the very bottom, there's all of the details and a way for you to get in contact with me. And it's a 6-month program. I'll tell you a little bit about the program. We have a private session together every month for an hour, and I really help you get crystal clear on creating the life that you want. So I help you create an action plan with specific steps for you to take during the month. And then I help you weekly. We get on group coaching calls all together, and all the calls are recorded. And the first part of the call, I train on anything from creating life balance, getting a crystal clear picture of what's holding you back and what you can do to move yourself forward. We work on life balance between work, family time, time for being a spouse, time for being a friend. I help you decrease your stress so that you can be more productive, be more financially successful, feel confident. These are just some of the things we cover in the program and on the calls. So the calls are live, but they're also recorded and sent to you. And they're every week for an hour. And then I also have modules. Every month you get to apply what you've been learning or something you want to continue learning on a deeper level by accessing the modules that are in the private members area. And they're anything from audio, video, worksheets to help you deepen your learning and really get the tools and strategies and systems really cemented into your life so that when you're in a stressful situation or you need to communicate under fire or you need to make a decision to support your values and not be swayed by any kind of pressure, you can pull those tools from your tool belt right in the moment that you need them. So I have opened up time in my coaching calendar for me to have a conversation with you for an hour or so. And if any of you are interested, you can contact me on that page, amyengelmark.com, about. And if you're serious, you want to know more information, you want to ask me some more questions about the program, and you think that you want to apply, that it might be right for you, it would be my pleasure to offer you that time. It's completely free. So let's have time for some Q&A right now. If you know you have a question about today or just something that I've taught on previously on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, if there's anything that you've heard me talk about before and you want to ask a question, any question is a great question. And it would be my pleasure to, if you have those questions, you can type them into the chat box. My pleasure to answer them for you. Find out where you're from. And once I see what questions you have, then we will jump into me giving you the free journals. So post your questions there right now, and I will get this link for you so that you can have my 2 chapters of my upcoming book, okay? So just give me a second here, and I'll get those for you. Get that link for you. Hope you're all having an awesome day and that you really enjoyed the webinar and that you're going to take away some awesome nuggets that you can apply to your life. That's what I would love to hear while I'm getting this link for you, is what is one takeaway that you are taking away from this this webinar today? Sorry, I'm just a little bit distracted as I get you these chapters. Just give me one sec. Okay, here is the link for you to download for those 2 chapters from my book. I'm going to post it here. So there's the link for you there. You can see it at the top of the screen. And you can click on it and check it out on my website. I'm not seeing any questions yet, so I'll give you a few more seconds. There's a little bit of a lag on the webinar, so you see me speaking about 10 seconds after I've actually spoken. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to ask a question. There's no bad or stupid question, and you can ask us the same question 10 times if you wanted to. So I'll give you a little bit more time to ask questions. If I don't see that there are any questions, then I will ask you a question and see if you can get it right and get one of these journals. I was thirsty. Okay, for this first journal, it says, be fearless, be bold, be you. I am going to sign it and I'm going to fill it with some quotes and suggestions and tips that I use in my coaching practice. Okay, Angela, before I hop into the book giveaway, I'll read your question here. How can you tell the difference between collaboration and validation? Okay, well, for me, that's a personal question. So validation is when I'm looking for, I'm wanting to boost my own confidence when I'm making a decision, or I'm looking for someone else to tell me the answer of something that I need to come up with on my own. Collaborate to me, it's working together with someone. So the big difference there would be, what's your motive? Are you wanting to get feedback from someone because you doubt yourself? Or because you're trying to avoid something, or because you fear something? And if that's the case, then I would think that, you know, like, I would ask myself, if I'm trying to find out the difference between collaboration and validation, what's my motive? Is it a healthy motive? Where am I coming from? And that would help me tell the difference between collaboration and validation. Was that helpful for you? So while I wait for Angela, I will ask you a question here. Now, for people who live, okay, great. Angela says, I like that. Okay, feel free to, yeah, what's my motive? Yeah, it is important to know what's driving us so that we can be more aware instead of just moving forward through life without really checking on ourselves. So anybody, if you have more questions, then please feel free to type them in. And this journal, I was saying, I'll sign it, and I'll fill it with really helpful quotes and really helpful advice and some suggestions that will help you in your own walk and your own personal growth, that have really been instrumental in my clients' lives. So I look forward to you guys receiving them. So who can tell me? In my yard, I have bird boxes, and every year our family waits for this specific type of bird to come and nest in the box. Now, you got to be a bird person to get this question, but if anyone can tell me what they think, what birds they migrate, I think they migrate to Mexico, and then they come back here and they nest. Who knows what bird I wait for every spring to come and fill my bird box? Rand says, thank you, Amy. I need to think about my questions, but I do feel just the thoughts that are spinning in my head are moving me just that little more forward with my life and helping me get even more successful with my business. Awesome. So I know, I love how I've been able to apply personal growth to that of my business. I know that's definitely the way. See, there's somebody trying to hop on here. Maybe you're able to get in. I think that was Kimberly, hopefully. Yeah, Ran, I think it's fabulous as well that, and somebody told me that you pronounce your name Ran, so maybe I've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time and you never told me. Ran's just saying how she loves how she can apply her personal growth to her business, and that she's getting some ahas in her thought life that's improving her success in her business, which is great. Super happy to hear that, Ran. So I haven't heard anyone's feedback on what type of bird. Can you guess what type of bird? It starts with an S that I am waiting to receive. Actually, they have just landed in our bird houses. What bird am I waiting to receive? I mean, waiting to fill my bird box this spring. And if you can't guess, I will give you another question. When I was underwater in Maui, when my youngest son Simon was 3 months old, so that was 8 years ago, I would hear this animal, and it was incredible. I've never heard it before, not in North America. And I want you to tell me, what animal do you think, if I listened carefully under the water in Maui, I could hear every time I went swimming? What animal is that? I'm going to give you this book. if you answer it correctly. It's a gorgeous book, gorgeous journal with little sayings inside, pretty pages, and I'll fill that as well, sign it and fill it with some goodies of my own and send it off to you in the mail. Maybe I'm just not seeing the responses, but if nobody wants the books, that's okay. I'll keep them for myself. Make sure you download the link that I posted there, everyone. It's the sneak peek of my book, From Burnt Out to Bliss. It's the 30-day challenge for high achievers, so you can have more freedom and more fun. We are going to I'm going to sign out soon. Ooh, hi Kim from Courtney. Nice to have you on the call. And Angela, you are right. Angela guessed a swallow, and that is the bird that I have been waiting for all year long. They're so gorgeous. They're beautiful, and they fly beautifully as well. So Angela, you are getting one of these journals. Yay! And does anyone know, Kim, Ran, other people who are on the call, what I hear underwater when I was in Maui 8 years ago? Can't wait to be able to visit again because I have never heard this animal underwater. If you can guess the answer to this question, maybe my son knows it, then you can have the other journal. Oh, Dolphin is close, and Angela, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to give you 2 journals. 1 journal limit per webinar. Dolphin is a good guess. That's a hint, everyone. It's close. Angela's close. This is my son, Simon. Simon's guess is a porpoise. It's not a porpoise either. I'll give you guys 1 more minute. If anyone can guess what I heard underwater, I'll give you a tip. They migrate off the Hawaiian Islands. Kim, you are right. It's a whale. Awesome. So Kim, you get one of these journals as well. If you guys can let me know, you're in Courtney, Kim. I'm not sure if I know you yet or not, but if you guys can let me know the address, if you can contact me and give me your addresses, Angela and Kim, that would be great. And then I can get those journals to you. You can contact me at this email address here. I'll give you my personal email address. 1 second.
Can they talk back to you?
Yep, they can talk right here. There's my email address, everyone. Angela and Kim. And I will send the journal off to you. Enjoy those 2 chapters, and thank you for joining us on the webinar. We'll see you next week on Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. Bye-bye.